Hello, everyone. Welcome to melted Syracuse, New York. Now, when we do our boots on the ground, I'm absolutely fascinated to go back and look at the photos that I've taken over the years. And when I do look back, it always seems I'm looking at something that's more profound and something that I hadn't seen previously looking through these photos. Now, at this particular site, they had dug up so much great evidence. And it wasn't just the melted brick evidence, it was also the metal, the wood, and the melted glass that became all jumbled up in this mess of melt. Now, in these particular photos, I wanted to focus on boards, apparently boards, that have been jumbled up in the melt here. And what I'm seeing is not just the bricks, but the wood itself is actually morphing, changing its state of matter, changing its very atomic structure into something else. Now we have to realize that all materials were affected by this cataclysm. And I believe these series of photos are showing us wood that is morphing into rock, being petrified right before our eyes. Now, this site is very unique because everything here has been dug up and broken up. So now we can see things that were previously underground and hidden from view. Back here we have a chunk of melted brick. It's turning into rock. Now this chunk of melt appears to have had a 2x4 that was caught up in here. And there's actually remnants of the wood itself inside of this cavity that it created. Now all this in between here was wood. We can see where it was broken away. All of this is in the midst of transformation and or has transformed into rock. You can still see the grain, and actual wood still remains here. You could actually peel it out. There's a little piece here that fell out from right here. Now the consistency of this wood is very hard to describe. You have pieces of wood that survive, yet you have portions of it that are, I want to say, tacky like clay, brittle like hardened clay, and portions that have turned to rock, very hard rock. Piece of melted brick in here that have survived. And this here ends up having the appearance of, I want to say, melted wood, because that's what it looks like. Just all melted into one jumbled mess, forming round rocks as well. Now, I took several different views of this melted blob. It shows pretty vividly what has happened to this piece of wood. And all up through here, a lot of this is still wood, and some of it isn't, showing the transformation. The grain of the wood still visible. All the section in the middle. Some of it wood, some of it not. Tacky, some of it. Clay like, brittle and hardened. But seriously, folks, what would you think if you walked up and saw this thing? Penny for your thoughts. Well, they don't make pennies anymore, so nickel for your thoughts. When you see something like this, you just don't know what to make of it. It's just a wow moment. It really is. Now, I pulled a lot of the loose pieces of wood out of here so we could get a better look. And so my thoughts are I pulled some wood out of here, so it must be some kind of wood. Like that old commercial, some kind of meat. And what was also coming to mind is yes, we're seeing what looks like wood, but there's several different materials here. And yes, it does look like melted wood to me. There are several different materials in these layers. There is actual wood. I wouldn't know what else between clay, rock, whatever, but it's forming one piece here. How is that possible? Different materials, it should be all one material, not several different materials in a wad or a sheet. How does that happen? And these pieces I left in here, some kind of wood, what's left of a board or a branch or whatever. What is this? Brick? What remains of a brick that is melted? Seriously. Round rocks that have formed. Just a jumble of every which way kind of stuff. But yeah, indeed, was some kind of wood. I'd love to have some type of scientific materials analysis done on this thing. They'd look at me like a deer in the headlights. And what I'm seeing with this wood is none of it appears to have been burned at all. It doesn't appear to have been any combustion at all, which is telling me this couldn't have been a fervent heat event. I believe this occurred at an atomic level, this event. Round rocks, piece of brick, looks like slate here, transforming into everything. Looks like round rocks that have fallen out after it broke, pieces of brick. And just this blob alone, if you broke it up even further, who knows what else you'd find on the inside. Okay, folks, I'm going to end this video for now. I love doing these deep dive close up videos. Got a bunch of photographs of embedded wood, transforming wood that I'll do videos of. And thanks for watching. More to come.